Hello, Jay Barino here. Welcome back. It's IXION. Continuing Chapter 3. We are waiting for this magnetic storm to approach us so that we can fly through it and get to the other side. Once we're past that, that's really the main environmental issue with Chapter 3. We just have a lot of expanding to do. Okay, so we are thawing people, but that's also because our food income is fine. Housing is really the only issue, and we are sending people to Sector 6, of which there is room for about 150 more people. So that should be fine. Everything here is looking okay. I could turn this on briefly just to pull in the extra food now that our stockpiles can hold a little bit more. You know, the minorest of things. This area over here is fine. I think it's about time, yeah, where... I mean, I keep saying, like, I'm ready to open up a new sector, but actually... I'm just going to wait for this to move past us. I do think I have enough polymer, though, to go ahead and build my next solar panel. So let's go ahead and queue that up. There's not many solar panels left. This is 6 electronics, which is actually the main holdup to doing this, but let's go ahead. And when that's about done, we should be ready to start flying through the storm. Iron might be a bit of an issue. Not really. Okay, let's check what's our research doing right now. So we're doing our small stockpiles. Happy with that, though I am going to go ahead and upgrade to the next battery capacity. That should definitely get us over the limit of what we need to get through the storm. And soon enough, we'll be able to get batteries Tier 2, Tier 3, and then stockpiles medium and large so that we can really finalize the builds that we have set up here. Because these really aren't final layouts. The structure is there, the skeleton is there, but ultimately I have, you know, greater plans for a lot of this stuff.
Team has completed a task.
All right, reactor wreckage. The Intimananki seems capable of achieving 2 different types of propulsion. The intrasystem mode of propulsion has many similarities to DOLOS EKP. Cross-referencing mission data reveals a number of matches to the encounter near Saturn, near the Tiqqun's initial test phase. Their inter-system propulsion covers many of the basic operations of the Vol engine. Our team has noted the remains of numerous accreditation areas. Access to and knowledge of the propulsion mode seems to have been strictly regulated. The 2 reactors were damaged at the same time as the larger superstructure, and our analysis has revealed traces of gluon particles. All right. You can go to the engine room, that's fine. Try to figure out how the Intimananki operated. Sure. I'm not super thirsty for science at this point, so we're fine. That's fine. Let's see. So carbon and silicon are fully mined. One of you can go for ice. Accidents, I guess, they're okay for now. Might as well scan what we can while we're on this side. I mean, truthfully, like, I don't need all this ice even revealed, but it's fine. Oh, medical infirmary's not the best place, especially because didn't this sector have like 20? It was like 29 injuries at some point. We are gonna have to turn these back on here pretty soon. Okay, it looks like our solar panel is starting to be built because we got all of the resources that we needed. Let's go ahead and turn these on, if only briefly. We have more than enough workers. Everything is fine. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is try and get folks out of this cryo thing first. How many workers do we have here? Do I have enough that I can just turn all these on? Because I don't think I'll have enough room, nearly enough room to get everyone out of here. But I was going to say maybe making another electronics factory just because we're holding on to a lot of silicon.
A probe has completed its scan.
And I really don't think there's anything outside of the storm here. I mean, again, I guess it's like the smallest amount of ice. Nah, I'm not even going to waste the scan. That's 3 polymer we don't even need to spend. Right. I do need that battery research done before we can fly through the storm, so we probably should wait.
A new policy.
Okay, good. We can turn our food consumption back to normal here. And what about over here? We can set you back to normal. And what about over here? We can set you... I guess I never changed Sector 6. Good. Okay, great. Let's speed this up and wait for the science. The Intimananki's engines were not supported by a PA or even basic AI. Instead, crew members were constantly monitoring, adjusting, and repairing the engines and thrusters. Their living conditions were extremely precarious, and it would seem many of them were either prisoners or rejects from the population on board the Intimananki. Traces of writings were found within some dormitory cells, referring to genetic conatus of the Ashtengites. There are records of several serious breakdowns before the final explosion. Crew members would work waist-deep in coolant, some dying while performing their tasks with toxic substance. Those who refused were executed by the superiors. So... yeah, it seems like the UN here did not have great working conditions at all. We're going to investigate the engine supervision area to learn more about the superstructure's final moments. Do it. And again, we're just going to wait once, and that should coincide with these batteries being done, and then we can get the heck out of here. Yeah, food production is great. Those mess hall upgrades are insane. So we're at +1, +2, +2. What, Now we're +3. What changed? Hang on. So this is this is +3 because of the food specialization. But this is only +2. What's the difference here? Demotic quarter. Oh, I think the I think there was a debuff from the corpses, the corpse field. Again, it just sort of hits randomly. So that I would expect this sector to have one extra, 3211 dog, and this is 3211 dog. But this over here, oh, because I don't have the memorial here, but I do have the memorial here, and then this is 3211 dog. Okay, so everywhere has the same number of buffs, I think. 32111. It's just my food policy here. Oh, I thought... I must have been looking at the wrong one. Okay, anyway, yeah, you're back to normal. That's fine. Okay, now we're good across the board. I'm pleased. Once again, we could turn these off. Let's just double check here how this is looking. Yeah, we're holding too much iron. We can actually turn these off. I don't think we need to bring in more ice. That should be fine. I could bring over some cryopods. Truthfully, I'm just going to have my cargo ships be idle just for a little bit of time. It's a little weird, but... Well, you know what? Let's bring over carbon. This docking bay is full. So yeah, let's bring over some carbon. Because we can actually process that. And then we're just waiting for the reactor wreckage, and that should move the storm to where we're... where we want it. Let's just read it, because this was the last one. A new request for the event Pirate. The engine supervision area was mainly occupied for those of rank. Some had time to enter cryopods before the apparent depressurization of the area. Analysis of remaining computer infrastructure indicates that their directives were merciless towards the engine room workers. They treated them as expendable outcasts. There are traces throughout the entire supervisory district of hacking attempts. All ship computers dedicated to the engines and reactors were compromised, preventing the Intimananki from maneuvering and causing power failures throughout the superstructure. The Sensitives team has managed to extract remnants of the computer protocol that were used to do this. These fragments of code point to an author, the BMS, Black Market Society. Relevant data has been sent to the Tiqqun's tech lab for more detailed analysis. Also, are these the kind of people we want to be bringing on and waking up, given that they treated their employees like trash? Well, I mean, ironically, they're going to get thrown into like a steel mill or something. They're going to be working on an algae farm, you know? So it's not like they're going to be in any position of authority. Okay, we can leave the ruined propulsion systems, and there we go. It moves up again. Did this cover up any of our resources? I don't think so. Good. But we have to be prepared to move now, and we can make it the whole way, especially once our research with the batteries is already done. So batteries is done. We could go back to stockpiles. I could get the final mess hall upgrade. And that's kind of one of those, like, the sooner the better type situations. Is there anything on the outskirts that would really benefit us at this point? Health center is good, but I don't think we really need it. I don't think we could support a waste treatment center yet. So I'm leaning towards... Is there anything in the workshop that would be valuable? Making buildings faster could be good. I mean, I haven't really shown you all what all these upgrades are, so to be fair, you know, you wouldn't really know. Maybe getting the last level of our mining ship improved filters, just again for that increased amount of resources, but we're not really short on resources right now, and I really don't expect we're going to be. But this is one of those where it's like the earlier you get it, the better. Truthfully, I think I'm leaning towards continuing with my stockpile upgrades. So let's go structural reconfiguration for more resources, and then we can unlock the higher levels of stockpile types. The extra transporters is good too. It helps us build things faster. So how much science is left to pick up here? That's enough to complete this research and the next one. That's what I like to see. So I could go and pick this carbon up. Do I even have room on my docking base to drop this stuff off? Not really. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop collecting for now. We're fine for now, and once we go through the wreck, we'll be able to pick up. You know, there's resources all on this side of the map too, so there's just a lot to pick up. The sensitive, let's go ahead and dock.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
5.1, 5.2, 5.4. So we can make it over to the depressurized R&D district and just sort of hang out there for a while. Once everyone is docked. We don't want to fly through this unless we're ready. Probably want to wait until our hull integrity is a little higher as well. Yep, collapsible frames is on the way. I could consider being able to move faster or take less damage as we're moving. Both of those would be valuable just because the faster you go, the faster you move, the less time you're spending moving. We don't have quite enough research to do it, but we can at least start it. It's not going to help us right now. Oh, right. I have requests. Okay. Administrator, the crew are encouraged by how many survivors we have brought aboard the Tiqqun. The increase to population reinforces the feeling that our goal of saving humanity is achievable. The new crew members, woken from cryonic pods, are now part of something bigger than themselves. So part of my strategy was to empty out the Protagoras' cryopods, but I woke up basically none of them until now. And so this idea that we are, that the game thinks we're waking up a lot is actually ironic that we've woken up basically none. How many can we afford to turn? Pretty much all of them. I just want to turn all these on and bring over all the cryopods from that one section. So Sector 1 can take all the cryopods, whereas Sector 6, you can empty out cryopods. And let's get as many as we can out of this sector. Administrator, we now have data to analyze Piranesi hacking protocols. The associated research project can be launched at the tech lab. This should allow us to set up computer protection systems to reduce the impact of any digital attacks. Acknowledged. Hacking threat analysis upgrade unlocked for the Piranesi. Sure. Sounds good. I still have ice coming off the docks. You know what? We don't need to be. I mean, we can be moving while we're doing this. I don't need to wait. So we've got enough battery for 4.8, and it's exactly that's because I turned on a ton of these things. 52. It can fit all of those in here. Before I continue as well, if we're sending to Sector 6, and Sector 6 still has room for about 100 people, so we're fine to continue just emptying there. And let's go ahead and move to the depressurized R&D district. Now, I'm pretty confident we can leave our airlocks on while we make this move, because it doesn't have that same frost mechanic. But it's a long way. And then once we're through, and while it's moving, I have to go through and turn off all of these.
Caution. Entering stellar storm.
Yes, correct. It looks like my hull repair is not quite able to keep up with the damage we take in the storm, even with all three on. Let me just double check. Oh, it's because one of them is off. Can we afford to turn this on? Yes. That should put us, yeah, positive again. Okay, just to be safe. I'm just going to turn all of these off. We'll have to turn them all back on later. But this is worth it, in my opinion, just so that we don't accidentally risk any of our ships until this storm has moved completely out of range of the system. And Tiqqun is still moving, so this is fine for now. Avoid. 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 Okay, I think that's everything. Have we made it? Not quite.
Caution. Entering debris field.
So the debris field is around these pieces of the Entimananki. So when you're docked at one of these, you're in the debris field, and that is what causes you to take the corpse field stability penalty.
Has occurred in the Tiqqun.
And now we're hit with the having more unopened cryopods in this sector, so that's unfortunate. We can get rid of that, though, at least. That's something. And now that we're over here, let's go ahead and start launching probes so that we can get some resources that are on this side of the area. So right there looks good. And then we can send Sensitive over to the depressurized R&D district because there is a very good upgrade that we can get there that I would love to snag before we really start any other research, because none of our other research is particularly valuable at this point. We don't need anything right now. So let's just chill and continue. Hopefully we'll thaw enough people that Sector 1 will no longer have this debuff soon enough. We could also transfer people
You can implement a new policy
into Sector 1. Okay, now that debuff's over, we can turn that off. And this one's over, we could turn that off. And go ahead and get mining. And let's check this out. Our sensors have identified a part of the Entimananki adrift in the CRUC system, CRUC system. Initial readings show no thermal activity, power signatures, or identifiable signs of life. This is the crew of the Sensitive. This section of wreckage is massive. We believe it's the remains of a research and development district. The laboratories we've seen have looked virtually destroyed, but we did find an intact security room. A sign above its entry area reads Orden 8. To access the room, we'll need power from the Tiqqun via the RTP. Unfortunately, specific accreditation is also required to open the room's armored door. The neighboring residential area has collapsed, making the balance of this area unstable. We spotted some emergency cryopods within the debris, though it doesn't look like there was enough time for a full evacuation. Okay, let's search the residential area first. It's partially collapsed. The exoskeletons of the Sensitive's crew will prove useful in mitigating risk. Our team will try to locate signs of possible survivors. Go for it. Meanwhile, we're just going to shoot probes out on this side of the map. And again, we're kind of swimming in resources on the Tiqqun right now. I have to wait till I process more of them before I really proceed. I saw there was there's a pixel there. I can get all 3 of those. I'm leaning towards building another electronics factory. But actually, we're burning through it fast enough. I think this is fine. You've been making chips. Let's turn these back on and start burning through this iron as well. I was gonna say, do you have you make chips, or do we have you make alloy? I mean, alloy is the least is the smallest amount of anything we have on the ship right now, but it's fine. There's plenty to pick up. It's just if we want to start bringing on those cryopods, which I don't. See the -1 from corpses floating outside the station, and there's amount of time that will continue to tick. It's a good thing we got the dog early. Okay. You know, I'm just revealing whatever I can, and then we can start hitting the other points of interest. You know, now that we're over here, like I mentioned, I think now is the time I'd like to go ahead and open up the next sector. I have plenty of resources to do it. And now with my steel mills on, we should be good, and I shouldn't really need many electronics. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is going to be our population sector once we open it. Food, by the way, is perfectly fine still. We can get that mess hall upgrade pretty soon. Is Sector 2 requesting electronics? It is. It's just going to bring 1 in at a time. No problem. No problem. It's just going to take some time to fill itself up because it's moving alloys from across the station.
A science ship team has completed.
I'm going to turn this off. I just have to remember to turn it back on. Most of what remains of the residential area is just shapeless metal. Children appear to have been locked in housing structures, while adults turn to improvised weaponry in a fight against an unknown aggressor. Bodies that the team came across had either been crushed by debris or sliced by cutting laser. The team did find some intact cryopods and also located the quarters of the techno supervisor of the area. Higher in rank, their dwelling was of much larger size and filled with unknown technology. Their security key has been recovered. That's what I like to hear. So that should allow us to get into the laboratories, find out what research was done on the Entimonanki. We also have way more cryopods to pick up in this area, which is, I guess, good and bad. It's just, it's going to take a long time to recover everybody. Okay, yeah, as long as these are running, and we got a lot of iron, so now I can start bringing in that polymer. Do we have space on any of these docks? Only dock 1, which is the mule. Sector 3 is open, by the way, so I have to go and get moving. You can pick up, yeah, carbon. These two are going to do nothing for now. So Sector 3 is open. Very exciting. This reminds me, I have to pull up my building plans. One moment, please. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be our population sector. I mean, the first thing I'm really concerned about is we just got to clear out a lot of this junk. The population tier 1 specialty is that your mess hall can feed more people, because we're going to have like 2,000 people living in this sector eventually. The population tier 2 specialization is not good, so and getting to it actually requires an absurd number of population structures, to the point where it's like it's just not worth it, basically. So I've got my foods tier 2 specialization. I've got my space tier 2 specialization. We could make this industry tier 2. That's one of those where it's kind of overkill to even bother getting, but I could do it. But for population, we're definitely not going to bother with tier 2 specialization. It's just not worth it. I'm leaning towards maybe just setting up my initial structures down here, just because that's where the most room appears to be for me to work with. Again, similar to the other sectors, we just go ahead and we close these. We're just kind of close all these down and recycle them later. Yeah, so alloy in Sector 3, we don't need a lot. Actually, we have to wait for the roads to be built, so let's do that first. So alloy in Sector 3, we request like 20. Food and electronics. Food for now, we only need like 20. And I can start sending all my new people to Sector 3 once I start building a few structures, of which we have not done yet, so we're not going to mess with that. So come over here. We can come up. We can do this. And now we've got a connection to the other sectors. And we can do this. And we can do this. And yeah, that looks good. I just like to get all this ready to be gathered, because again, pretty much with like all the other sectors that I set up, we don't need all these roads. They're all going to go away eventually. Something like that. And then we can come over here and do that and that. And then there. And there. That might be 2, so we'll just set up an extra road. It's just spaghetti at this point. Maybe just to kind of keep it simple and connect it all, we do that. And then there, and then there. And then there. That should be pretty much everything, unless this counts. And then we gotta wait for our builder to start connecting everything. And then once it does that, then I can start getting this junk off the road. And I can't collect electronics in a workshop until, or in a stockpile until it's done with all those roads. Like the first structure that I can build is kind of up this left side. But ultimately, we just need to get people housed, period. So that we need to do that, we need the DLS center, which is going to be kind of in this general area. So we'll get all that going. We have a decent leeway when it comes to.
Accident has occurred in the
oh, where did my worker go? He just like disappeared. Oh, it's because the accident was in the workshop. Of course. Okay, so we have a housing issue, and we have an infirmary issue. Where would my infirmary be? Honestly, at this point, just put it anywhere. And we're going to rebuild this sector pretty soon anyway. So with that in mind, we'll build just like one demotic quarter there. That's just to make sure that we stay housed. And we'll come and check that a bit later, because we got to check our science team. The laboratories were severely damaged by the Intimananki's depressurization. Most equipment has either been destroyed or is missing. The team found clear traces of laser cutting. Floors and walls have been ripped open. The R&D district was a secure area studying not only space-related phenomena, but also technologies considered forbidden by the UN. Recovered research reports mention DOLOS, BMS, and Ashtangite invention being studied. 820 cryopods, my goodness. We're going to open the ornate security room. With power supplied from the Tiqqun, the Sensitives team will open the security room with the Techno Supervisor's key. I would love to. We're bringing back that carbon, and we still have more than enough iron, and a ton of it is sitting on the docks. So like, even if, yeah, I'm just gonna chill in terms of iron pickup. I left the flippin' airlocks off. The last save was 11 minutes ago. Oh man. Okay, we should probably just stop turning these off. It's just a habit of the min-maxing from chapters 1 and 2 when iron was so low that we just didn't have enough steel to keep the hull repaired. But we do now, so we can keep up with it. I noticed that my waste buildup is actually becoming a bit of a problem. And I think it's just because we're running so many factories at the same time. I might have to build another waste recycler, which will require me to move some of these structures. Or we could just make another waste recycler in a different sector. We could also just turn on the waste recycling, or turn on the waste destruction in the DLS center and just forego waste for a little bit of time. Oh, and I think part of it is I need to turn these back on. I check my sector transfer. Yeah, you only want 6. I mean, we can have you hold a little bit more. That's fine. 10, 12 for both. And then you're going to hold about 60. Okay, that's fine. Again, it's actually holding, yeah, too much waste. Back to Sector 3. We can go ahead and just start getting rid of this stuff. And once this is all gone, then I can start building out this sector proper. But for now, they'll have a Domatic quarter, so we get the just immediate stability from that. It's currently building the structures. Right. Okay, there's that. How about workers in this sector? We're going to need to move some. There's a bunch that are already injured. So I have a lot of workers in the industry sector because that's where I have been thawing people and sending them over here. Now, that being said, we could probably move out 30 to 40 workers over from Sector 6 to the newly opened Sector 3. And I should have just enough housing for them, but we're going to have way more housing here pretty soon. Mr. Worker, please get back to building. Oh, he's building the Domatic quarter. That's actually pretty critical. I really need the...
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
I really need these to go away so that I can proceed with actually building stuff out.
Team has completed a task.
Polymer is full up. Once the hull gets a little bit higher, I mean, we could just start it now. I think we just go ahead and build another solar panel. We can afford it. Now's the time to really expand aggressively with solar. Okay, so we finished the Orn 8 secret room. Scanned files on the floor of the security room contain warnings about the prohibited nature of what was stored in the area beyond. Behind a further door, a long chamber was filled with occupied DOLOS cryopods. Numerous data disks full of scientific information were also discovered. These finds are of incredible value. Nice. Okay, and it's just 150 alloy and 1 electronics is great. And then the Orn PA upgrade. This is what I was waiting for. So we're done here. Leave the Intimananki wreckage. And when we unfreeze, there goes the storm. So that's nice. That means I can also turn these off from having to be avoided, I think. Unless my ships go, like, in some weird pathway through the storm to get to them. Hopefully not. That reminds me, too, let's make sure that we keep launching probes. Plenty of resources out there. I think I'm going to end this chapter with more carbon than I know what to do with. but honestly, that's fine. All right, go ahead and start sending people to Sector 3. Actually, I'm going to power you down for now. Sector 2 is working extra hours. We don't like that. 28. Oh my gosh. The injuries that are happening are insane. 28 at the same time is wild. Okay, but that also means we can afford to send just a couple workers from Sector 1 to Sector 2. So let's do that. Just like... Oh, Sector 1 to Sector 2. Go ahead and just send them 5. That's all they need to get back on their feet. And then we'll figure that out in a little bit. It's because I turned the mushroom farms back on. All right, collect here.
Population transfer complete.
Okay, no more extra hours anywhere. That's all good. And we're burning through that iron, which is good. We got to get it off the docking bay over here. Okay, if we check over here, yeah, we're picking up silicon. There's no more carbon to pick up, but we are mining more of it. Let's go ahead and bring in just the steel. And then silicon is next. And then Mule, you can go and grab the electronics. The other two are just sort of waiting. Let's turn these off. Because I want to consume this and then we're bringing in the raw, the already processed steel, I should say. Grab this. Okay. I think we can just grab all of these now. So now I can appropriately start the plan for this sector. So we do something like this. We're going to throw down a new docking bay up here and a colonization training center, which we have needed, or we're going to need because we're testing more colonization stuff this time around.
Has completed its scan.
Okay, so we're just waiting for this guy to do his thing. And again, I'm going to place this just so that we have a placeholder for it. There we go. So let's get rid of these, get rid of these. We don't really need any of these roads up here for now. It feels really good to get rid of all this junk that you have to place down to collect stuff early on. We're going to need housing, and we're going to need those other structures. Is there anything that we really need in this sector right now? I don't think so. I mean, probably just housing. And then obviously, and then we want to move a lot of the temporary stuff that's here. Oh, we gotta reconnect this. Okay, so I don't need to build that right away. That's just a placeholder. But pretty important is I really want to get another dock set up over here. So again, that's a placeholder. I'm just gonna put all the structures down, not all of them, but most of them. And then I can decide how we want to, like, which ones do we want to build at what pace, right? So the other thing we need is I'm gonna move my thawing process over here. So that's gonna look something like this. We're still waiting for those to get pulled in, and then pause those. And then we just need to build housing here. So that we can really start constructing stuff faster. We do have 95 in storage. I don't actually need these. Spent all that time making them. But this is where we're going to start putting our domestic quarters. So we do something like this. We don't want to build too many at a time. But I do want to set up a lot of housing so we can just perpetually be unfreezing people. And the idea is we build this cargo bay, we can get another science ship, we can get another mining ship, and then we move one of our cargo ships over here to bring in cryopods. It's going to be great. Okay, iron is still coming off the line. Solar power looks... No, it's in the process of being built. Hull integrity, we're keeping an eye out. It will automatically trigger itself to come back on momentarily. Carbon, we will have space where we can bring in more carbon. I just have to be cognizant. I don't want to bring in too much carbon because it will clog up our our docks pretty badly. Like, they're already pretty clogged up. By the way, and not really by the way, but I want to get this ornate PA. To restart the human race without the risk of moral drift, we must eradicate everything that comes from Dolos and the Ashtongites. Interesting. Okay. The research cost for upgrades is reduced by 10%. That's like a as soon as you can get type thing, the better. That's just going to make everything a little bit cheaper. Beyond that, we're going to move towards the final mess hall upgrade, which requires the industrial enzymes here. So let's grab that, then the mess hall upgrade. And then in terms of food, we should be fine for a long time. Maybe grab the final... I mean, in terms of min-maxing our resources, I think we're fine at this point. And you can see the storm is eventually just going to move fully out of the system. So that feels nice. Ice will become an issue, but right now it's not. I'll just make sure that we still scan for it and we have some found, so that we can mine it and bring some in as we need. So eventually, like these docks, we're not going to be bringing in iron or carbon or anything. We're going to be recycling for most of that. Yeah, we're burning through this pretty fast. Every time we make one electronics piece, it works out just fine. Okay, let's go. I think I just want to... I think I'm going to build these first. And then we're going to have roads down to about here.
New request awaits your attention.
Oh, no. What is it? Administrator, among the items recovered from the ornate security room was a prototype supercomputer based on the PA architecture. It could be integrated into our tech lab computer systems. Stanford protocols do discourage the use of externally sourced lab equipment. We will launch the PA to assist. Absolutely, because that technology upgrade is incredible. We're already researching it. It's just going to make everything a little bit cheaper. So that's what I like to see. Okay, we are requesting waste in Sector 3 or Sector 2, right? Yeah, just not a lot. And then we want Sector 6. Probably only, I mean, we just need a minimum of a little bit higher than what's in Sector 2 to make sure that the waste gets properly gobbled up by them. And then you know what? In Sector 3, we're going to request a good amount of electronics because we're going to be using a lot of them. And then as we make more polymer, I might go ahead and just build out all of our solar panels. I think we'll be able to build them all out this this chapter. Like I said, this is the expand aggressively chapter, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's focus on maybe getting these points of interest looked at. Science ship has just been sort of chilling here for way too long, so we'll send to the medical district. I think we're going to want a second science ship. Oh, yeah. Oh, it feels good. Cheaper stuff.
The science ship has arrived at its destination.
Okay, medical you know what? Grab the science first. I feel like, yeah, we're probably bringing in resources faster than we can process them. So I don't even know how aggressively I want to be having my cargo ships pick this stuff up. Hydrogen, maybe by the end of this chapter we'll use. I don't know. Hydrogen is really valuable. We're gonna need to use it next chapter. But for right now, I wouldn't say it's needed. Medical district wreckage. Preliminary analysis suggests that this section of Entenmannanke wreckage contains the remains of a medical care district. We've arrived at the site. We estimate that 2/3 of the district is missing. Remnants of cooling pipes have generated a haze that hangs about the debris and hides the floating corpses of Entenmannanke crew. We've identified 2 viable areas for investigation: the ruins of a research facility and an area devoted to medical care. All right, I would love to investigate the medical district first. And then I'm going to pause because I am getting a phone call. Okay, cool. I'm thinking also, Sector 3, we need to request more alloy. Just because we're not going to be deconstructing that much stuff, and we really want to be building. Pretty soon we might want to move into drone bays. Let's get this mess hall upgrade so we really don't have to think about food too much, really, ever again. And then... Well, I just said I could do drone bays. I think actually, I'm sorry, let's continue with our stockpiles. The sooner we can get the ability to make the medium stockpiles, we'll be able to build this out a little more efficiently and store way more stuff. It's going to take some juggling, though. We're going to have to move everything out of these stockpiles to, like, we got to move all the silicon out so that we can then put down a medium stockpile and then move everything out of the one and transfer them back in. And it's going to be a whole to-do, but that's okay. And then we got this area up here that we are in the process of building. Very exciting stuff. And we soon enough can start moving our temporary infrastructure here so that we can really build out what's going to go here. So I think we're going to do something kind of like this. I don't know exactly how high up I want to go, but I'll figure it out eventually. And then we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to have this kind of come across in this general way. And then once our medium stockpiles are available to be built, I'll start considering different placements here and there. All right. And up here. Yeah, this is the direction we want this to go. We come out to here, we connect this, and then this area up here is going to be a nice little thing for another. That's for later. It's for later. I don't need the docking bay right away. A second science ship this chapter could be nice though, so I might lean into that here pretty soon. And then we got to get our DLS center down, and probably our memorial. We still have the +10 from opening a new sector, but this sector is going to go negative fairly soon because we have +4, but -5. So let's go ahead and toss down our memorial. Lunicalism for sure is the one that we want. Right there, because it has road access, and we're actually going to let that build. I don't know how many cycles we've got the new sector for, but this is fine. Let's turn you back on because we should have enough quartering. We should have enough quarters for folks at this point. And then we're going to move all these cryopods over to Sector 3 eventually. Space Chef, let's go. And then let's just keep scanning. The district is in ruins. The sensitive team had to stop several times during their investigation to clear away debris. Violent clashes appear to have taken place across the district. It seems that even before the attack, the medical capacity of the Entimanaki was oversubscribed. Recovered data suggests that congestion within the ship's care centers worsened over time. The team was able to recover a number of intact emergency cryopods. Well, it's nice to hear that they're having just as many accidents as we are. Their crew was just as prone to making mistakes. So many cryopods, my goodness. We will investigate the research facility to try and find resources and data. Sounds good. Space Chef, if we take a look at our food, 199%. And we're still, I don't want to say we're mostly insect farms. We do have the mushroom walls going, which do provide a good amount of food. It's just funny to me how much. It's just funny to me how much. Should we be recycling to anything but electronics at this point? Because I kind of feel like no. We picked up all the steel. We picked up all the silicon. I guess we can grab some iron. What are we mining right now? Anything? I mean, something for sure. It's just the Pride hasn't made it to where it needs to go to actually get to that silicon, I guess. So interestingly enough, I guess the mining is the slight holdup. Yeah, we want that memorial. Yeah, let's complete these structures, the housing, and then complete the memorial so that we know that the sector's not going to immediately plunge into negative stability, which really wouldn't be that big of a deal, but still. Have our crew members been dying to accidents? They shouldn't be dying to accidents. We had 2 deaths from our initial accidents. And that's it. Yeah, we've had those 2 deaths from that very first accident. Huh. Okay. Workers over here is perfectly fine. We can go ahead and start moving our infrastructure as well. So this is going to be a medium storage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we make a workshop here. Yeah, and then we're going to put 2 medium storages for cryopods. Just back-to-back kind of there, and then we'll have...
The science ship team has completed a task.
We'll have food, we'll have alloy, we'll have electronics.
A probe has completed its scan.
All right, science ship. The facility has been constructed from more resilient materials and alloys than other parts of the ship. Most of its outer structure remains. A lot of the internal hardware does seem to have been laser cut and ripped out. Our team was able to extract some information from the few remaining data consoles. A sealed stasis box was discovered containing what can only be described as a test subject. Having reviewed associated research reports, the team believes that the experiment used Ashtingite technology and genetic material taken from charred leaves. Subject ZY6073 is named on the outside of the stasis box. Appears to be alive but dormant. It's the size of an adult male and currently dormant. The sensitive team proposed transferring them to a cryopod and bringing them back on board. No thanks. This is a no from me, dog. We're going to leave the wreckage. So let's collect our science. And okay, yeah, we are getting the silicon down there, so we can start going and picking that up here soon. You go ahead and go. I keep looking like, do we need to be picking up any iron right now? Like, we have so much iron on the docks here. No, I don't think so. I don't think we want any iron. So we can get some carbon. We can get more carbon. That's fine with me. If my polymer stockpiles fully fill up, then I'll just make a solar panel. So that's fine with me. Sector 2 is in extra hours again. I'm gonna go ahead and just start sending workers to Sector 2. And we could turn off one of these just so that we prevent some accidents for now. Okay, looking good. How many people do we have in Sector 3? Enough that I could go ahead and start dismantling some of this stuff that we don't need.
Accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Okay, see, and they were negative. It's not a big deal, minus 0.2 trust, and it's offset by the rest of my sectors being happy. It's not that big of a deal, especially because our working conditions are optimal. I don't think that a negative trend in one sector really matters that much. I don't think you're going to have, like, more accidents or anything. Now, if this was worse than negative, like they were angry, then that's a problem. That's a bigger problem. Okay, stockpiles. I don't need large stockpiles immediately, so I'm not going to worry about that. Smart Homes is feeling pretty good, and upgrading our cryonics is feeling pretty good. We probably should go to algae farms here pretty soon as well. There's just a lot of options. The world is kind of our oyster at this point. And we do need to get the Piranesi upgrades as well before this chapter ends. But we've got a lot of leeway on that front. EVA airlock, I mean, that's not really a problem. We can make our docking bays hold more resources. I like the sound of that. And then our solar panel upgrades. These are all things we definitely want. You know what? Let's upgrade our ability to get bigger batteries. And then work on making our ice more efficient so that I just don't have to worry that much about ice. Because ice is just kind of it's just a pain to have to think about it all. So, I don't want to. Okay, so I think we do something like this. And something like this. That can be a little battery for later. And then we come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that'll fit. That's going to be a health center. We don't need that many roads around it, to be honest, but it's okay. Yeah, this is going to be great. Perhaps the next step is to move cryonics over to this area. Yeah, we got to move some of this stuff. So you're going to be food, which means we can deconstruct this. Sector 2's been getting workers unfrozen. Okay, they've got like a 20-person lead here. So start sending workers back to Sector 3 because we got to make sure Sector 3 stays staffed as we build up. And then you can be chips, and then you can be... What did I say these needed to... Oh, that's the workshop. So you can be iron. So we can deconstruct you. And then we're probably going to need 2 mess halls in this area. Almost definitely. So this area over here, it can be eventually a fire station. I have the ability to make fire stations, but I haven't really bothered with them yet. But that is something that we can do. I think it's 6 by 6. So we can do a mess hall here. And then we can do an infirmary. And then I'll get a second mess hall here. But we gotta wait, we gotta wait for these structures to all build. Here, go ahead and connect this as well while you're at it. Never mind, you've decided to build the workshop first. Steel is a little short. So we turn these back on and start consuming that iron. Again, we've got so much on these docking bays. I'm not even going to collect any iron until that gets cleared out. And then this docking bay can just be carbon and silicon, which we're burning through slowly. The silicon takes a while. It is tempting to just go ahead and make a second electronics factory. It's expensive, though, and considering I was just talking about how I am a little short on iron, we'll wait for now. But we have power, we have workers. Actually, not quite. I mean, we do have enough workers. We just have to move some around. Okay, we can deconstruct this. We can deconstruct this. Steel's already coming in hot. No problem. I mean, we could swap our recycler to be steel. No problem. And our waste economy is back to being perfectly fine. We don't even need these mushroom walls running. And we're at 188% in terms of food need. But we have so many cryopods to burn through that, you know, it is a slight issue. Also, for our food sector, we're going to be redesigning this here pretty soon. Like, I don't need these. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these. It'll take some time to get rid of them, but that's fine. Again, we're a little short on steel anyway, so it kind of works out. And then I truthfully forget what I said I was going to focus on over here. Maybe the cryonics center actually is feeling pretty good because we have to unfreeze so many people so quickly. So we're going to do that. And then let's get a solar panel upgrade. That's fine. And I think I have enough polymer to go ahead and build another solar panel as well. Plus our hull is full. 270 and 7 chips. We can do it, so we're going to do it. And that allows that's going to get carbon flowing through the system as well, getting it off the docks, stuff like that. This sector is neutral. We'll get a DLS center here pretty soon. Get rid of that. And then let's get rid of some of this. And then I'm going to get that second mess hall. It just, you know, building it now doesn't hurt because we're gonna need it later. It's cool. And the steel is coming in pretty fast. And then we're going to get a battery here and then the DLS center. So we are going to do something like the battery's 5 by 5. So that's going to go there. And there's going to be a road here. That's going to connect here. This road is not going to exist. Oh, yeah. It's coming together. It's coming together. And I'd like to go ahead and start bringing my cryopods over here and unfreezing them in this sector where we can do it twice as fast. But again, we're going to be burning through so many alloys that we're going to need these steel mills running pretty much nonstop at this point. But we have more than enough iron on the map, that's for sure. You know what? One of you go ahead and start on ice, just in case, just so that we have it so we can recover it when we need it. That's another reason why I haven't branched into algae farms. If I don't have to, then I don't have to worry about ice. Because it's annoying. All right, let's grab some more points of interest. And you can also notice that the magnetic storm is nearly through the entire system. Man, more silicon. And we have all sorts of stuff to explore up there, too. Okay, I'm going to stop here for today. There's just so much to do. Sector 3 has a lot of potential for us. An extra docking bay for 3 more ships. We get another mining ship. We get another cargo ship. We get another science ship. That's just going to be really nice overall. I think we even maybe move 1 cargo ship over here so that we have 3 cargo ships bringing into our industrial sector. And then we can move a mining ship over here so that we have 1 cargo ship per dock over here. It keeps it kind of nicely balanced. And we mostly are going to bring in ice and eventually hydrogen to Sector 1. And then this, we can throw a cargo ship on in Sector 3 to bring in cryopods and be completing science ship requests that need things from the ship. But yeah, I think we're on the right track here. We're just going to be spending a lot of alloy to get this sector finished. But we're well on our way. And again, we have so much iron to smelt. I might even want to go ahead, move the recycling over here so that we can get a 3rd smelter, just so that we can get iron into steel that much faster. We'll see. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.